One thing I did notice about the bass playing on a number of the songs you wrote is that it frequently had some repetition in it. I mean, this is particularly true of Shipwrecked, I think.
Yeah.
Where the bass player is playing just a few notes through many sections of the song, not the whole song. And I take it that was composed ahead of time.
Yeah, especially in that tune, you know, the bass line, I think, is one of the more important parts of the song. It's kind of the anchor of the tune. And the melody is really just, you know, it's set to float on top of that. There's really only like 2 sections in that song. And of course, the first section is predominant throughout. So yeah, there's a lot of that, and that's really the hook of that tune. So
I found it kind of a little bit unsettling, that bass note back there.
yeah.
Did you ever hear that Dylan album from about maybe 5-6 years ago, Time Out of Mind?
I've heard a little bit of it, yeah.
It starts with this organ note, ding, 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 like that. It's just the most awful thing you ever want to hear in your life. It's just one note, but it's just the right note.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes that can be really repetition and simplicity can be the most inspiring or emotion yielding for the listener. You know, there's certainly I've written a lot where I've left it very open, and that's a great sound too. But on a couple of the tunes on here, I wanted a pretty specific kind of thing to really set the mood.
One thing you've mentioned a lot is about improvisation and openness and so forth. So just let our fans, your fans, know what to expect when they come on Friday or Saturday if they haven't heard you before. Are you a band that uses a lot of atonality? Are you a band that has a lot of free sections?
We have a lot of diversity, I think.
Yeah, it's true. We kind of have a spectrum of different ways to improvise. So there are forms that are set up to play over, and you have to be, you know, honest to the form and keep your spot and try to say something interesting over it with your instrument. And there are other sections where it is pretty much completely up to the instrumentalist what's going to happen, and that's kind of fun. It's just sort of like taking a musical snapshot of what's going on right there, and sometimes it turns out way better than you could have imagined, and other times it's less gratifying than you thought.
I think in our live performances, as opposed to this record, we like to stretch out.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
Definitely.
So a lot of these same tunes, if people pick up the record, they're going to hear shorter versions on that than they will live, because it's a different thing. You know, I think that the attention span of a live audience member is bigger because you're there, you're present. There's things to look at and see that can really grab you for a long period of time, and you can really kind of go on a journey with the improviser. Of course, that's on the record too, but we just kept it a little more concise.
Just to be clear, they don't sound like Cecil Taylor or the late Coltrane or anything like that. We're not dealing with a free jazz.
No, not at all.
Could,
we have moments that we go to those places,
right.
But I mean, a lot of times, as you mentioned earlier, we almost have like an instrumental rock kind of feel, and then there's some stuff that's pretty straight ahead swinging, and
yeah, there's a lot of different feels, and I mean, I feel like for us, since John Coltrane and Cecil Taylor started, there's been a lot of different kinds of music that have been introduced in jazz and in pop, and so I think that we're drawing from more spaces than just that, even though those are huge influences for us, and maybe someday we will have a record like that, but for right now we're just trying to figure out how we can exist in the middle of all of those different influences and styles.
Now, Albatross, you wrote that, Zach. Am I correct in hearing that the throughout much of that song, the guitar was playing about 3 or or 4 notes, and they sounded kind of droning to me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.